Hi there and welcome back to It's Only Paper. I'm Lisa and I love to journal. You may recognize this book from a previous video that I've done. It was a cookbook and it's now going to become a journal. It still looks like a cookbook at the moment. I did remove a few pages. I should have removed more, but I didn't because I really love the pages, so I know it's going to end up being a bulky journal and I accept that, but that will hopefully help a little bit. However, today we are going to start it up, set it up as a proper journal. I've just done the cover so far, but today I want to work inside on the pages, and that's something that I also wanted to talk to you about. I have been asked a lot. It's probably one of my most asked questions, and that's how do you start a journal? So today I am going to show you some examples and talk to you about how I've started various journals, different types, and we're going to start one today as well. So hopefully that will help you. The very first type of journal that I started was one of these, a traveler's notebook. This is how they start. And these are something that I sell in my shop. You can get them in various different sizes, and it is literally a notebook. Now, you wouldn't believe that this started out, which was my very first one? I think it was this one actually. It started out as this. Let's move these to one side and I will show you properly. So it's inside a cover. Let's take it out of the cover just so you can see it a little bit better. This was my very first. I mean, I've made journals before, like mini books, like this type of thing. I've always called them mini books. I've made these loads and loads of times from scratch, but this was like the first proper journal that I worked in. It's hard to think that this is this. It's the same company, the same size, but I have filled and finished this. It's hard to imagine, is it? It's no wonder the spines break. Another great example is this one. This one got completely out of hand. And again, can you believe that this is this? I've had to sew that spine in. I've got various bits stapled together. That one really got out of hand. That's when I started making my own, because I realized that what I was wanting a journal for, these types of journals just aren't quite the right sort. They just get too bulky. I like pockets, I like flips, and these just aren't quite cut out for that. So that's a traveler's notebook, and I have to admit that I do find starting a journal often quite tricky. There's something about that first page that is incredibly intimidating. Let me know if you agree with that. So let me show you some examples of how I've started a journal. This sort is great because the covers are already made, so you don't have to worry about that. I have gone in and added a few bits and pieces. These are stuck down, as you can see. The actually even this is stuck down. I've just realized it was literally a blue spotty cover, and I've added some die cuts and I've cut out some papers and I've stuck that in. That's how I've started this one. And this as well was one of the papers. This is from the Say Cheese collection from Simple Stories. And then the very first page, I've actually talked about the build-up of this trip. This was our 2014 Disney trip, and I started with our countdown. It's funny because people always think that we go loads and loads and loads. This countdown was 755 days, so we certainly don't go loads and loads and loads. And I've just talked about, I still can't believe we're going in 4 days time. We started counting down at 800 days. Booked Bahama Bay at 755 days. The time has flown by and we are now ready for the magic again. And that's what I've done, and just spoken about the trip. This was us at the start of our trip. I've put the ages of the children, and it's really fun almost starting a trip journal from way before when you start planning. That's how I've started this one. So that was my little intro, And I've got here using a sticker, date and location, which is quite handy. And I've used one of the photos from our trip. So that's how that one was started. This particular trip journal, I think this one needs a little bit of TLC. I've noticed that it's almost like you need to give your journals an MOT sometimes and just go over them to make sure everything's still intact. This is how I've started this one. Again, it's the same type of journal. It is a spotty one this time, same brand, same size, and I've popped some paper both sides. And again, I've spoken about the planning in this one. I've got a little journal card there with some stickers, favorite memories, and again, notes from today, February 2018, 149 days to go. And I've spoken about the planning and then jumped into the very start of the trip. This was our 2018 trip. Now, the reason that these ones look a little bit different is because they have a cover on. This is called a traveler's notebook cover. So again, this is, actually it's not the same, it's a handmade journal from Little Rainbow Moon. The difference is with these, they are sewn together. Similar kind of size though, I don't think they're quite as wide. This one's held together much better. Now the thing I like with starting one of these, it's actually got space, this is the cover, for bits and pieces at the side, which I really, really like. So I've popped in some receipts. I've got a cup cover there. I've got the little welcome from the hotel, you know, where you get your room key. I've got boarding passes. I've got little planner clips, some die cuts, and I've got some fast passes that we never actually got to use. And I have jumped, this is like the second part of this journal. Have I got the first part here? I have actually, I didn't even realize. So this was a trip that was split into two. We had and again, I've got the same company, and I've got that's the Traveler's Notebook cover, and I've also got a Little Rainbow Moon journal as well. As you can see, that has also held up very well. So I've got the covers here. Now, this was a California road trip. I do have flip throughs of both of these, so I'll leave the links below. And again, I've got receipts, parking, like where, you know, the parking vouchers. I've also got leaflets inside, that's Alcatraz. I've got tram tickets. It's just a real, there's Alcatraz tickets and park maps. It's a really, really nice way to, I've got the same here, be able to have bits and pieces from your trip. So that's a really, really nice way to start. And as this is the actual start of the journal, we've gone straight to travel day on this one. No introduction or anything like that. And then this one goes straight into the trip, and this is our Disney. And I give a little bit of a description of the trip as well in the front here. So I've given it a little bit of a history of the trip. So that works really well. And I do actually really like having a traveler's notebook cover for these. It is a very nice way to protect your journals, as you can see. The only thing is you are quite restricted with having bits and pieces sticking out. I've got some tabs here, which obviously you've got the elastic across, whereas compare that to my handmade journals. They are well and truly chunky. I've got a bit more space and loads of room for sticky out bits, as you can see. Now, I've also got another one here, same company, same size notebooks, as you can see. And these two are more kind of like personal journals. They're not as bulky. I've still got some, actually I've done most of the journaling in here. They're just not as bulky. I guess I don't have as many leaflets and flaps and pockets and bits and pieces. These two, like I said, are more personal, and I've decorated the front covers here. Do you know, sometimes I don't even do that straight away. Sometimes I might actually go in and actually do a page and then come back another time. I don't always do things in order. I tend to work in my journals as I fancy, and I journal what takes my, so if I'm feeling right, tonight I want to journal, I really want to do a Disney page, I will go and do a Disney page. Just because I need to start a journal or this is the next page, I won't necessarily work in order that way. I always work depending on what mood I'm in. So here I've got my stories and I've got some stickers here and I've put Magic and Adventures, documenting my little stories and adventures. And I've cut this out of some patterned paper. Remember today, love, happy, joy, noted, friends. And this journal is just, oh, I've even got a blank page there. Just about various bits and pieces from over the years. Holly doing her first vote. Like I said, it's not in any order. Afternoon tea with friends, that was during lockdown. And I've got a few more pages still to go. This one is very similar again, same type of traveler's notebook. And again, I've just decorated the front there. Almost done it as a proper little intro. And again, it's all about friendships and just fun little stories. Just whatever captures my mind. I've got WhatsApp messages there that I've screenshot. Just really fun bits and pieces. And again, I've still got, I've got quite a few pages left in that one. Now, this particular journal is one of my handmade journals. This was made from a box, which I've covered. I made my own signatures. I'm yet to actually work on the front here. And like I said, I will just do what I fancy. But I do have an intro on this page here. It is a random Disney journal. You know when you've just got loads of photos? Here's my example. I've just got loads and loads of bits and pieces. A lot of them are Disney. That particular one isn't. But if I go in here, the first one I pull out is us on the railroad at Magic Kingdom. I've got me there with a Simba Toasty. The majority of them are Disney photos. A lot of them haven't actually printed very well. For example, I've got like a print there. But I've kept them. I haven't wanted to get rid of them. And so this journal here is just random stories. No particular order actually. They're from all over the trips. Just if I have a nice photo, I want to journal about it. So it's just whatever takes my fancy. And I'm actually really loving that freedom. You can see I'm even not journaling in order. So with regards to starting this one, I've literally just started the journal or created the journal and just jumped in. So now, as an example, what I do with this one, I will look at a photo. It's always generally a story that's guiding me. I'll look at this and think, oh, I fancy doing a story to go with this one. So I will have a look through. As it's a DIY journal, pages are already in here, so that colour looks quite nice. I will go through and decide what colours suit my photo. So that one would be quite a nice one. Something like that, for example, I would probably go with that one. That one's a bit busy. Or even that one. So that's how I start this one. Just guided by generally the photo. Or even that one actually, a nice little page. And then I just pick the paper, deciding depending on the photo. That's what takes my fancy. This one again is completely different. I do find that they all do vary. This was a little golden book. This one started out like this, as you can see. And I've created a larger spine. I do have a video to go with this, which I will link below. And actually I need to make another one. So I'll be making another one soon. And each time I'm doing them, I'm improving as well. So hopefully they'll just get better and better. Now I jumped in. I've started with 3 signatures in this one because we've got 3 trips over the 50th celebration. So we've got my January trip, we've got our June trip, and then we've got the October trip. So when I started this one, I had that in mind that I would have the 3. And as this had 50 on the front, I thought that would be really cool. Now this one here, I have decided to do an intro in the front with a little text, a write-up about the 3 trips in general. So I need to wait for the 3 trips to be over and done with before I can journal. This one I've then gone on to pre-travel day, and there's something I would like to focus on, I'm not sure where, is about the way that travel has changed over the year, because we started off with having to test beforehand, having to wear masks. In June we still had to test, but we didn't need masks on the flight. And then in October, apart from uploading COVID vaccinations, I think we're pretty much safe to go. So fingers crossed anyway, as I film this, it will all be okay. So that's how I started this one. Now, this journal that I'm starting today is completely different again. This one, as you know, is a recipe book, and I just wanted to make it a little bit more fun. This book, however, this journal, has been more driven by the papers I'm using. And as you know, if you saw the previous video, I got very, very excited by this paper collection. It is Cocoa Vanilla Studio and it's called Storyteller, and I absolutely love it. And it was seeing these scraps on the table that made me want to do this journal, and I just thought it would be such an amazing way to document stories. And I was watching Inky Quill, and she has what she calls her Jamie journal, and she uses a Jamie recipe book, and I loved that idea. And then I thought the other day when Holly was getting rid of this recipe book that I could do the same. So I had these bits left over. I do need to put this as an add gifted, as these bits, these scraps here were sent to me by Paper Maze. So I'll leave the link below. Oh, this is what I'm looking for, and I've got these stickers left as well. So today I would like to do an intro page, and I'm also going to do a bit of an outro page. I love that. Isn't that cool? It's just got some really, really cool things. I love that. I love the contents. That will be something that I'll end up working on as well. It's just really, really exciting. So let's move into the front here. I'm going to be guided very much by scraps. I'm going to use this and pop some paint on. I want the paint on the page just as a bit of a background. I'm fancying some stenciling as well, actually. Now what I need to do when I do this type of thing is make sure that you can see it as well once the paper's on, otherwise it's pointless having paint on if you can't actually see it, because I love the paint. So I'll have a little bit more along the bottom. The amount of times that I've done that and you're so happy with the background, then you pop your piece of paper on that you're planning to use and actually you can't see the paint. So and it defeats then the whole object. So that will be cool there. I don't actually know what I want on this side actually. I haven't decided. Could even have those. Yeah, let's do that. It's just more decorative this side. It's not, I'm not planning to actually journal on here or anything like that. I just want it to be, open the book and think, oh, I like this. So it's more decorative. I've got a little bit of leftover, so we're going to leave that for the time being. And I'm going to go and raid my stencils and see what I can find. So I want to get creative with this one. I've got a Kaiser colour. I'm going to use a brush, but I don't want to get loads and loads of paint on here. I could do with a little tray actually. Let's improvise. I've just taken this out of my bin. It's an old packet of paracetamol. So arty. Right. I don't want much on here at all. So we're just going to stab. The reason I don't want loads and loads is 1, because it's going to take forever to dry. 2, because it's going to take forever to dry. And 3, because it's going to take ages to dry. So I'm just going on with a little bit. And let's have a quick look. Yay, I like that. That looks so cool. This actually, what I'm using was let's get some on the ready colour up there, was a 12 by 12 die cut paper. It was never meant to be a stencil. I got it in a Cocoa Daisy kit years and years ago, and I've always used it as a stencil. I do need to do, I know you've heard me say this goodness how many times on my main vlogging channel, I need to do a good tidy up, well that one was really messy, of my mixed media, and I've never got around to it, and I really do. I want to go through all my mists and my stencils. Some of that stuff's about 15 years old, and I used to be really into my mixed media. I go through phases. I'm going through a more of a cleaner phase at the moment, but every now and then, like now, I dabble and I love it, and then so I'll spend a few months dabbling and then I might go dry again. So I want to dabble again. I really enjoy it. I've always found it really relaxing, but it does take a little bit longer, and often I'm in a hurry when I'm creating, and it's great like if I want to work on something and leave it overnight to dry, but quite often I don't, and I'm in a hurry and it's just like, yeah, it just doesn't really happen, and I end up just using papers. So I'm going to leave that for the time being, but like you can see, it's really faint, so that's going to dry really quickly. Thank you to the paracetamol bottle. And I now want to get some green on here. No, I don't. I want to use some teal dilutions. I was going to use a sponge, but you know, I loved how that went on so much. Let's do this. This was one of my stencils. My top tier Patreons get a happy mail package every month, and I always like to try and make something, and one month I included a big stencil. Let's make sure that stem gets seen, and I used a stencil on an envelope for them as well, and I like to try and personalise it and put notes and letters. So yeah, this is what they got one month. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I'll leave a link below for you. That looks so cool. Now just bearing in mind that we're going to have that on there. Yeah, I like that. This side, oh, we were going to have this, weren't we? So I'm thinking maybe 2 lots of this. Just do that because we don't want it too thick, because then we'll have to wait ages for it to dry, and I'm far too impatient for that. Do you know, it's so warm in my studio tonight. It's really cold outside. I don't think the heating's on. I hope it isn't anyway. It just feels so stuffy. It's nearly 10 o'clock at night as I'm doing this. Aid's watching the football, so it was just one of those times that I was just really in the mood for doing this. Oh, that looks so nice. I like that. Let's do this one down here. Make sure, yeah, that will then peep out over the side. The number one tip is to make sure you hold your stencil in place. Otherwise it won't actually look like what you're wanting it to, because it would have moved all over the place. My arm's aching. And then it just won't look like what you're wanting it to. That's cool. I like that a lot. Do you clean your stencils or do you leave them as they are? Leave a comment below. I'm lazy and leave them as they are. Right, I will hopefully remember to clean my paintbrush. However, I didn't clean the one from this morning and it's all stuck with glue. I'm so bad at things like that. Right, let's get this down here. I think I'm going to get my... Do I want the Mod Podge? No, I don't know. Let's see if it's going to work with a glue stick. Sometimes I love the Mod Podge, but it does make it go just a bit, you know, when it's all like bumpy, warped. Let's pop that there. I love that. It's a nice contrast as well. And like I said, because you've only got a tiny bit of paint, it really dries fast. Right, I'm going to move the stencils out of the way. And I need to... Whoops, there's a little paper clip on the floor now. I'm going to cut this out. I hope you're enjoying this video, by the way. It's a little bit different, which makes a nice change. I've been doing so many journaling pages lately. I'm not going to cut the holes out because I can't be bothered. Sorry, I know that sounds really bad, but I really can't. Oh, I'm feeling yellow and pink. Right, let's tear that down. You know, I love that side as well. Let's do this like that. I don't know though, because there's too much pink there, isn't there? I don't really like any of them now. That looks a bit busy. I have got a yellow. I wonder if just the yellow would be better actually. Let's try that. So we could have that on there, and we could pop that on there. Yeah, I think I prefer that. Tear that down. Let's see how that looks. I just want it to look really pretty, but I'd love to know with your journaling how you start a journal. Do you go in with a game plan as soon as you start? Do you make it up as you go along? Like me, do you just jump in and start creating your pages and then start to think about the beginning? It's always interesting to hear how other people do things, and they're always different as well. And just remember, there's never a right or wrong. You can just do whatever takes your fancy. Right, let's move these out of the way. I did have, some ideas when I started, but I can't remember what they were now. Memories. I quite like that actually. That needs to be a bit more straight. I tend to find with this kind of thing as well that I just keep tweaking as well. I don't even know if I'm too sure about that at the moment. I like that. Let's pop that on the side. And the nice thing I like about doing with the glue stick is I can easily lift things up because I change my mind quite a lot. Oh, I think I prefer that actually. I feel like that now ties in nicer with that side. I'm liking that. Do you know something else actually that I think is really important, and sometimes something I often forget, is to have a date. I know that some people use like library cards or book cards to actually document the date of when they started, and then at the back when they finished. I think that's a really nice idea. So I might do that. I think having the date of when it starts is really important. The amount of times I've done something, missed off the date, and then I've really regretted not having it on there. So do remember your dates. Right, let's have a look at these die cuts that I've got. I was working on something else earlier on, so my desk is all a little bit messy. This looks quite nice. Yeah, I'm liking that. Let's have a look here. And then I'm also liking the idea of actually having what this journal is all about. Fun and freedom. That's what it's all about. Having a place to document stories. And it doesn't matter what order they're in, what they're about. It's just about having fun. And it's fun to document the stories, but it's also really fun to actually take that time out as well, which is something that I think a lot of us forget. Oh, happy little moments. I like that. That is cool. This page needs a bit of attention. I would do that in a minute. I like that one of these die cuts. Like I said, I'll leave the link to the Storyteller collection. It's completely inspired this. And maybe let's have that at the top. And then I can put the date on there. And I'm also thinking, so we've got some butterflies and bits and pieces. Oh, I like that idea. That could be quite nice. I like this as well, notes and things. That would be quite nice. Let's pop that, and I could put What else could I put on there? We just want the month and year that it started. I know. Notes and things by Lisa. There we go. September 2022. Remember your dates. Hearts and butterflies. I don't know. I might even just keep it at that. I'm not sure about those yet. I have also got some stickers on here as well. I found them. I've got a camera, and this one, I am a storyteller. Yes, that one is going to go at the top there. I love that. And then over here, I just feel like this needs something, but I don't know what, because it's all about photos and memories. And then I've got some of the little sticker strips on here as well, which I was going to use. And then I need a place for a little bit of journaling. I'm not quite sure where I'm journaling yet, or what I'm planning to do. I'll just go with it. I'm not quite sure at the moment. Right, let's have a look at these stickers. I've just popped a couple of stickers on there, and I don't know whether to leave the flowers. Yes, I will. I'm going to pop those on there. I don't know if I'm going to add any others. I'm just going to pop this one at the top there. Now this lovely dark background is calling out for me to journal all over in white. However, I never have much luck with my white pens, but I'm going to give it a go. So that's it. Do you know, the white jelly roll worked a treat in the end. I'm so happy. I'm just thinking, to finish it off, I'm going to go around certain parts with a black pen. I do like a black edge quite often. It's that doodly look. I just think it really finishes it off. So I'm just going to go around here. But as you can see from my journals, everyone is different. Everyone is started differently. And there's no rights or wrongs. It's your journal. You do what you want. Do what you fancy. If you don't fancy starting it, but you really want to go and do a page, do that. There are no rules. Just remember that. It's your journal. Could even be that you never even get round to doing like an intro page or whatever you want to do. It's fine though. You can just jump in and start. I know that first page can be intimidating. It's like that first notebook, isn't it? When you have a new notebook, there's something about it that just always feels a little bit strange. I'm going to go and do the same here. But yes, so I would like to hear from you and hear how you tackle starting a journal. What do you do? How do you choose your journal? How do you do do you do like a date? Do you do something to get that very first page started? I've even heard of some people who don't do anything on the first page because it's so intimidating. They leave it blank. I would like to know what you do. It's always interesting hearing other people's ways. Let's see, just do this little bit. And then we are almost done. I love this stencil. This was a very fun page, very therapeutic. I feel like I've gone back to my mixed media roots, and it's been very fun and very needed as well. I think sometimes we need that freedom, that place to play and not think, and just have fun. And I feel for me that's what this journal is going to be all about. There we go, I have finished. I'm excited to start this journey. I really am. I think this is going to be a beautiful journal. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this has helped you. I hope it's inspired you, and I look forward to chatting with you again in the next video. Take care, lots of love. Bye.